Welcome to Charter Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. It's my honor to introduce you to Jen Conoley. She is the president of Cal State Long Beach, where we are today. Our bureau in Long Beach is on your campus. We thank you for allowing us to use this facility. And I'd like to speak with you about some very good news. U.S. News and World Report, you know, take it or leave it, but whatever it is, they put out a survey every year. And as much as we don't want to look at it, we do.
Yes, we do.
And sure enough, Cal State Long Beach, 5th best public institution in the West.
Yeah, great news for us.
President.
And you know, clearly you're right. I mean, some of these, you have to take some of these reports and these rankings with a grain of salt. But the good news for me was that they had some discrete categories.
Yes, please.
And so, you know, looking at us, our high level of diversity,
Right.
our high percentage of alumni giving,
Yes.
our low debt upon leaving.
Nice.
So all those things to me at the more molecular
Right,
level.
right, well stated.
Yeah, I'm more interested in that than, you know, abroad.
Right.
You're 5th in the West.
Of
On the
course.
other hand, it's a whole lot better than being 50th in the West. So
Exactly.
I'm celebrating.
And we're also celebrating the reality that U.S. News specifically called out your engineering program.
Yes.
Timing couldn't be better. I mean, when you think about the emphasis on STEM and the just myriad of different types of engineering careers that are out there, boy, I mean, you got to plaster that on the billboard.
We really do, and our engineering school is a great example. You're not alone in this, but a great example of a school that's improved dramatically over the last 5 to 7 years in terms of numbers, in terms of awards, in terms of diversity.
Right.
More women on the faculty, which is very difficult in engineering
which
because
is
we're always
wonderful.
worried
Right.
about and working
balance.
toward gender balance in these STEM fields. So I'm very proud of our School of Engineering, and I'm really glad they've gotten some more international, and I should say national notice.
I want to talk about how Long Beach has managed this ascent. I was joking with you, and it really was meant in fun, that when I went to college, you know, in the last century, Long Beach was not an institution that was looked at with much respect. And I take, it's casting no aspersions.
Right.
Boy, what a difference a generation makes.
Yes,
You know, what has happened over the last generation at Long Beach? I mean, look, it's hard to deny that when you look at the CSU system, is it 22 CSUs?
23.
23. I mean, Long Beach is, you know.
Well, we say number one.
Number one,
We say
but, you
number
know,
one,
But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's right. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah. So it's a great question, and of course there's not a simple answer, but I'd say some of the ingredients were a series of presidents with great leadership and a good focus.
Your predecessor, I know well, King Alexander, now running the Louisiana state system.
That's right. Prior to him, Bob Maxon.
Right.
Bob did a very innovative thing in developing the President's Scholars, specifically attracting high-achieving students, and knowing that high-achieving students would bring their high-achieving friends.
Right.
Faculty would be motivated by that. But I'd say in the last 10 years, our provost, he wasn't always in that role, but our current provost, David Dowell, has had just a laser focus on student success. And that means if there's enough students for a class, we don't cancel classes. Students get their classes.
I see.
We have hired, just in the last 2 years, 120 new faculty to the tenure line. We have introduced really deep data analytics about what's going on. Did you get a D in that class? Well, you're going to get called into your advisor.
Right.
So we have what we call the high-touch, high-tech advising, where everybody's on almost every student has their schedule on this very smart e-advising system, but that tells the student about what courses they need to take, but it also tells the advisor, wait a second, that student isn't showing up for class, or that student. So that that has really made a difference. And I think we have some other high-profile things. Our athletic programs, our art programs have made the campus an attractive place. Yeah.
I want to ask you though, how you are able to land that type of student, because you know that Long Beach, when it's compared to institutions throughout the country, gets more applications than 99%.
That's right. We're in the top 5 nationally.
Nationally, with Harvard and UCLA and all of those above. I mean, you're deluged by applications.
94,000 if we include our graduate programs and our undergraduate freshmen and transfers. It was 85,000 just for the undergraduate with the freshmen and the transfers. So it's an unbelievable number. And the sad part is that at a certain point last year we sent out 24,000 denial letters to students who had met all the criteria.
Oh,
and so that's a change in the
right.
force here, change in the paradigm for CSU, where the notion was if you're in the top 30 of your class, if you've done these courses, if you have this GPA, you're in. You know,
can't do that now.
Now, and you know, I give 99.9% of the credit to the faculty. Mm-hmm. They are innovative teachers. They're dedicated to mm-hmm. their students, and this is not just come to class and hear a good lecture. This is international travel. It's right. research with your faculty member. It's apprenticeships. It's internships. It's a lot of electronic enhancements and what mm-hmm. we call now flipped classrooms. So the faculty.
What's a flipped classroom?
A flipped classroom means like instead of you coming to class and hearing me lecture, you read the lecture or you watch me on a screen giving the lecture, and then when you come to class, you're going to do case studies about it, you're going to do problems about it, or if it's science, you're going to do the experiment. So don't waste people's time with just like theory and
I like that.
And talk. Make them use it. And of course, pretty soon students figure out they need to have done that work in order to benefit from the flip here about what the activities are.
So you mentioned that you stand on the shoulders of some outstanding predecessors.
Yes, I really do.
And you are now in your second, you're starting your second academic year. Mm-hmm. So what is the Jane Conoley stamp? What does that look like? How do you take Long Beach to even greater heights, which I know you will?
Well, it's nice of you to say. I love the good aspiration
right.
there. Well, you know, my view of leadership now, after all these
right.
years, is that the best contribution I can make is to create an environment where it's easy to succeed. So I really look at very specific things. You know, have we reduced most of the hassles?
It's just little things in life.
Yeah,
it really is.
Have we streamlined all the paperwork that we possibly can?
Right.
You know, are we offering people the tools that they need to succeed? You know, are we encouraging them? Are we celebrating their success? Are we giving them the feedback that they need? So, you know, to me, that's my stamp. I hope will be that when I'm finished working here, I hope 10 years from now,
right.
people will say, this is the best place to work.
And it seems that one of your most key accomplishments is watching your students graduate without debt
yes.
or significant debt, because you've seen this headline, degree of debt,
yes.
from the Los Angeles Times, talking about how students are literally being saddled with debt to the extent that they're moving home, they can't buy homes, it's impacting our economy. I mean, you're blessed with the CSU tuition, which is $6,000-7,000 a year,
That's
still
right.
more than it was 10 years ago.
Very much more than it was 10 years ago.
But
yeah, you're right. But you know, we've just completed, well, we haven't completed it yet, but we just met our goal in our comprehensive campaign, the first ever.
Yeah, let's talk about the Declare campaign.
Declare campaign, where we set the goal of $225 million, and we're at the moment at over $226 million, so we kind of pushed the goal.
Just call Steven Spielberg? I mean, isn't he one of your greatest alums? And,
yes, he is.
And just have him write the check for $225 and you're done. Okay. Is it too much to ask, Mr.
Steven,
Spielberg?
are you listening? Steven,
exactly.
are you listening
that's
to this?
That's like $25, Tim. Am I wrong?
No, I don't know.
But you have a lot of fine alums.
Yeah, we have tremendous alums,
right.
and we've had the giving rate among alums has gone up tremendously, and I think anticipating what will be a constant campaigning
right.
model, the good news is we had over 50,000 people who contributed for the first time to this campaign. And I bring it up in the context of the student debt because we now have, one of our big focuses, foci was greater accessibility.
Right.
And so very much that means financial accessibility,
Clearly.
right? And so the number of scholarships now available for students in specific areas and across the board is dramatically increased than it was years ago. So, it's hard to keep up because the tuition has gone up dramatically, but on the other hand, that is helping students. They can get help through the privately funded scholarships. We also have an emergency fund now for them.
And you'll come back and talk about it?
I will.
Her name is Jane Conoley. She's the president of Cal State Long Beach, where we are today. This is Charter Local Edition.